Hi, this is Ling from 3D Science Modeling. Today, I'm showing you a computer model that allows students to explore a real-world phenomena, the climate-driven bark beetle outbreaks, which addresses the NGSS standards of ecosystems at the middle school and high school levels. Forests hold great economical and ecological value. However, climate-driven bark beetle outbreaks have led to a large-scale forest decline in the United States. Bark beetles are grain-sized insects. Out of about 500 bark beetle species native to North America, only a few species are serious tree killers, such as the mountain pine beetle, spruce beetle, and southern pine beetle. During a life cycle, the adult bark beetles first burrow into their host trees. The host trees may defend themselves using sticky resin, but some beetles still make it through and lay eggs under the tree bark. After the eggs hatch, the larvae will chew the tree trunk and develop distinctive tunnels. A large number of larvae may damage the tree transportation system and kill the tree. Some larvae may be killed by cold winter temperature, but the surviving larvae will mature into new adult beetles in a year or two and start to infest other host trees. Bark beetles normally attack old or stressed host trees, so they may help forest regeneration. However, climate changes rise the temperature and cause more droughts. The rising temperatures accelerate bark beetles' life cycle and allow more larvae to survive over winter. The droughts stress more trees. Therefore, the current bark beetle outbreaks are much more severe than before. Let's use a computer model to explore this phenomenon. Let's use the model. Set up the model to get the starting forest and bark beetle population. You can decide the years for your investigation, adjust the starting bark beetle population size, investigate the effect of environmental factors, or test different forest management strategies. When you run the model, you can observe the system changes in the yellow monitors and graphical plots. You can run the model year by year or run it continuously. Let's run the model for 150 years. You can see the bark beetle population increases over time, and the forest declines at a certain point. You can also see the dead trees are plotted in the graph. You can even count the number. From there, you can adjust the environment factors to investigate their effects. We developed this climate-driven bark beetle outbreak model based on a set of rules. First, there are a total of 289 patches in the simulated forest. Each patch may grow one host tree. If a host tree is taken down by bark beetles, the empty patch will grow a new host tree slowly. In reality, bark beetles release pheromone to gather other bark beetles to attack a host tree together. This is reflected in the model by beetles always attacking the nearby mature host tree with the strongest pheromone, but not yet fully occupied. If no pheromone is sensed, bark beetles attack a mature host tree nearby. If they find the host tree, they will infest it and release pheromone to attract other beetles. After infesting a tree, each bark beetle produces 2 offspring beetles, which counts as 2 attacks on the tree. Beetles will die after reproduction or at the age of 2. In addition, 49% of beetles die during the winter. Each host tree becomes orange after receiving 35 attacks and dies when receiving more than 50 attacks. Droughts may lower this defense threshold. When no temperature increases, each beetle produces 2 offspring beetles. When temperature increases, some beetles may produce 2 more offspring beetles. The higher the temperature rises, the more beetles are able to do so. When the temperature rises in winter, fewer beetles die. There are 3 forest management strategies in the model. You can cut down the lightly infested tree, which are the trees receiving 5 or fewer attacks, or cut down the heavily infested trees, which are the trees receiving at least 35 attacks. You can also cut down a portion of mature trees, no matter they are infested or not. We call it thinning. You can find all the information on our website. We must gather enough data to determine how rising temperatures affect the bark beetle outbreaks. Here, we use a Google Sheets to help us compile and analyze the data. You can find these Google Sheets on our website. For each factor, we gather 3 outcomes: the number of outbreaks, the max number of dead trees, and the max beetle population size. Let's first gather the baseline data. Keep all the settings as default, where no temperature increases, no droughts, and the forest is not managed. Keep the years as 150. Forest services rely on the number of dead trees or the severity of infestation to determine an outbreak, because they cannot count the number of bark beetles. In our investigation, we will use a threshold of 11 dead trees to determine an outbreak. In this trial, we can see the beetle population increases and the forest declines. According to the number of dead trees, we have 1 outbreak, where the max number of dead tree is 12 and the max beetle population size is 241. Let's record the data. Randomness is built into this model to simulate the real world, so you will not get identical results from the same setting, but only get the general pattern of each setting. We must have multiple trials for each setting. Let's see one more trial. Now we see here more than 11 trees died, and also look at the bark beetle population and the forest decline trend. We will see this is 1 outbreak. The max number of dead trees is 14 and max beetle population size is 272. Let me show you the general result patterns at different levels of temperature increases. Remember, we're observing a system. When the results are not very clear, we need to work like scientists who look into different lines of evidence to decide how to interpret the results. In this trial, we have 3 distinct peaks where the bark beetle population clearly increased, the forest declines, and more than 11 trees died in the year. So we see there are 3 outbreaks over the 150 years. Let's run another trial. Now we have 1 clear outbreak, then it seems to be followed by a long-lasting outbreak. If we look into the beetle population, forest decline, and the number of dead trees, then we seem to have the 3rd outbreak at the end. So 3 outbreaks again. We will stick with these rules. Set the temperature increase as 1 degree Celsius. Run the model. Now we get 1, 2, 3, and 4 outbreaks. We also see a larger bark beetle populations and more dead trees. 1.5 degrees Celsius increase in summer now. We have more severe outbreaks indicated by the larger beetle populations and even more dead trees. 2 degrees Celsius increase. Now you can see there are definitely more and more beetles and fewer living trees. I will talk about the relevant data analysis in the next part of the video.